the core. We cannot do it now, this is our time. Move the chains, thousand ladders I climb. Been through the tough, had a rough time. Now the time, let's rise and shine. Sitting in the dark, now lighting the path. Searching through the heart, finding that inner spark. Never imagine I'll come this far. Dreams came true like fish to the stars. Watch rainy days with the nails in the teeth. Enough with the sweats, now time to breathe. Nothing in the world which can be achieved. Now living my life the way I've dreamed.
Hello everyone. So I'm Shubhradipto and I will be taking a session on learning the endgame process, and we will be learning the opposite color bishop endgame. And this is a learn along series of Premier Chess Academy. And in between the sessions, I will be giving you good puzzles. We will be learning new techniques how to like win opposite color endgames, and we will have some fun also. So let's start the session. So here you can see opposite color bishop ending, and here before starting the session I will be making you learn few of the points. So here on the screen you can see that yeah, so in most of the opposite color bishop endgames, these are the things you need to keep this in your mind. So you can see I'm writing beside the board. So the first point is the drawing tendencies. So here, let's say in this position, you can see that in white side, white is having 2 pawns, right? And black is having 4 pawns. So here, you can easily say that the weakest side is the white and the strongest side is black, the player playing with black pieces, right? So here, in most of the opposite color bishop endgame, there is a high chance of getting the position drawn. So what you need to do is, you need to be very alert. Like the player who is playing with less pawns or having less material, that player, like most of the time, that time, like it's very easy for him to make a draw, and the player trying to win the game, like it's very difficult, like becomes some difficult. So here, we need to look out for 3 things. The fortress. So what is fortress? So here, let's say it's white to play, and here it's try to find out the best move here. Let's say here you can think of some moves like white can play bishop a4, bishop d7 like this. These are some plans, but here the best move to play here is to move the pawn to c5. So you might be thinking that here that white is down with 2 pawns and sacrificing 1 more pawn, but that's not the case here. So here after c5, what's happening? The pawn is attacking the bishop on b6, right? So you can see that bishop is forced to take the pawn on c5. So after this, what should white do? So the bishop on c2, right? The bishop on c2 is moving to b3 and attacking the pawn on e6. So after this, what's happening? Black is forced to move the pawn to e5, right? So after moving the pawn to e5, you can see there are many light square weaknesses, right? So now white can easily play bishop to e6 and take this diagonal, and it's like a blockade, you can say that. right? Yeah. Yeah, in the chat, I can see Vigneshwaran C is writing bishop b3. Yeah, you are correct, Vigneshwaran. Yeah, so after bishop b3, e5, and after bishop b3, it's a draw. Let's say black can play king c7, and yeah, king e4 and bishop g4. White can just play bishop g4 followed by bishop f5. It's a draw. So So in opposite color bishop endgame, so you should not be worried about like giving up pawns or giving up pieces. So the main thing which you need to worry about is the positional nuisances. So here you can see in third point, here white did just sacrificed a pawn and just got some counter. So I'm sharing you another position. Yeah, let's say this one. Okay. So in this one, it is black to play. So here you can see that white is having two extra pawns. So can anyone find like what should white play? I'm giving you 1 minute to figure it out. What should white play in this position? Yeah. So Manika, yeah, King G4 was correct move in the last position. So try to find out what to play in this position. It's black to play. Yeah, it's black to play. Yeah, so bishop to d7. Okay, so Vani Gadde. Yeah, bishop d7, and I'm getting some answers. Vigneshwaran is saying bishop d7 and Vani Gadde. So I think that's Mayuk. Yeah, Mayuk is saying bishop c6. Okay, so I'm getting mixed answers here. Yeah, you can play bishop to d7 and bishop to c6. That's fine. Okay, so I'm getting, yeah, it's black to play. Manika, it's black to play. Okay, Jayesh is saying bishop c2. Okay, I'm getting many moves here. No, it's black to play. Okay, so let's analyze these three moves. One is bishop c6, another is bishop d7, and another is bishop c2. Fine. So let's say white is playing first bishop c2. What's happening after bishop c2? I think after bishop c2 check, white is having only one move, that is moving the king to f4, because if the king moves to any other square like d5 or d4, this pawn will be gone, right? The f5 pawn is under attack. Let's say king d5, bishop can capture on f5. So white will be playing bishop to king to f4. But after this, I think after bishop king f4, uh, black can play, let's say, king to f7. And here white can play e6 followed by king f6, bishop c3, king e7, and king e5. This is not a good idea from black side because the pawn is moving very fast. So f6, f7 is coming. So bishop c2 is not working. Okay, so bishop d7. Pratap, yeah, Pratap Mallavartu. Okay, Ojasvi is also saying bishop d7. Okay, fine. Now I will be analyzing bishop c6 and bishop d7. Okay, let's say first go with bishop c6. Fine. So after bishop c6, let's say the king is moving to d4. Then what we should play after king d4? Black can play, I think, bishop d7. Bishop d7 is a nice move after this. So the main idea is the technique should be you should try to keep the bishop in such a way that whenever your opponent is pushing the pawn, you can capture the pawn like this. So here bishop d7 is the best move. Your idea should be putting the bishop on d7, and if any time black is playing this pawn to e6, you can capture, capture, and capture. So it's a draw because white is having insufficient material, right? But I think this can happen with bishop c6 also. After bishop c6, if king moves to this square f4, then you can still play bishop d7. This should be the idea. Let's say after bishop d7, bishop g5 check, then what should black play? Black will just move the king to f7. Uh, the king is forced to go to f4 because there is no other square to move because the pawn is hanging. The king cannot move to d5 or d4 like this because the pawn on f5 is clearly hanging, right? So here, after king d7, let's say white is playing king f7, king f4. So here black will just play bishop to c8 and bishop to d7. Let's say black is playing bishop d8, black will just play bishop d7, and this is an equal position. So this is how black can hold the position. But the main thing is, let's say there is another way of preventing the move of e6. That is, let's say black is playing bishop b3. Then what happens? What should white play? Can you tell me? After bishop b3, this is, I think this is winning for white. Can anyone find the move from white side after bishop b3? Anyone? No, it's not a draw. Vigneshwaran, it's not a draw. No, bishop b3 is not a draw. No, it's not a draw. White is winning. You have to find the correct move. If bishop is moving to b3, then it's a win. Bishop d7 is a draw, but bishop b3 is not a draw. F6, okay. F6, no. Binita Sharma, I think that's Pravi. F6 is not a good move because after F6, black can play king F7 and white won't be getting any chance to play E6. So this is a draw. So the best move here is to, if I'm not wrong, to put the bishop on G5 and give a check. So after the check, let's say the king is moving on F7, then white can easily play king D4 and king C5. Right now, white can play king D4 and the bishop is not on D7. So there is no problem in supporting the F5 pawn, right? No, after bishop C2, yeah. After bishop C2, the problem is, yeah, Jayesh, bishop C2 is not working because E6 is coming, if I'm not wrong. E6 is coming, and after E6, the king can move to E8, then we can play F6. Bishop C2 is not working here. So this is the reason you have to move the bishop in such a way that your opponent is unable to move the pawn forward, right? Yeah, so I'm getting many answers. Bishop C2, bishop G5. Yeah, Pratap, yeah, that bishop G5 is working. Yes, I got the correct answer from Pratap. Yeah, so after F6, king, let's say bishop B3, then white can play king E5 followed by king D6, and it's a win. Like F7, bishop A6 is coming. So this is winning. So the main move here is you have black needs to play bishop to d7. This is the correct move. Okay. So moving to the similar position. Okay. So this is the similar position which I'm showing. So here, this is the position, and here it's black to play. What do you think? It's winning or it's draw? This is the new position, and I'm giving you 1 minute to think and tell me this position is winning or draw from black side. Okay, so I can say Vigneshwaran is saying it's a draw. So can you tell me the move? Bishop d8. Okay, fine. Vigneshwaran. Okay. Perihan is also saying draw. Okay, Manika is also saying draw. Okay, fine. Okay, so you all are thinking that white is unable to win. But yeah, bishop d8 is a nice move. Yeah, the same way, the way we analyze the previous position. Okay, I can see Mayuk is also saying draw. Okay, Praveer is also saying draw. Okay, but okay, let's analyze bishop d8. Fine. After bishop d8, let's say, yeah, you can say that still the king is unable to come to d6 because the f6 is hanging, right? So here, what can white do? White can just give a check, and the king will move to f8, and the bishop will be going to h5. Or let's say, I think better one is after king f8, white can play just king f5. And this is a position, it is called a zugzwang. And here black is having no move. Can you tell me after this position, what can black play? There is no move from black side. This is winning for white. In the previous position, black was able to play bishop d7 and bishop c8, and now there is no other square. Like the bishop is already on the 8th rank, so there is no square to move. So this is not a draw. This is winning for white. So I think it's clear to all of you. Let me show you the difference. So in this position, it's black to play, and black is having no move. So black has to play, like move the bishop anywhere like this. Then white can play e7 and e8. This is queening. Okay, king g8. Manika is telling king g8. Yeah. Okay, after king g8, I think e7 is winning. Manika. King g8, e7. So now in the next move, white is getting a queen. If you capture uh, the pawn takes and then e8. In the next move, white will just promote to a queen. Okay, Ojasvi is saying bishop f6. Okay, Ojasvi is saying bishop f6. Fine. Bishop f6, white can take the pawn. I mean the bishop. Ojasvi, bishop f6, king f6. In the next move, white will play e7 and e8. That will be a checkmate, Ojasvi. So I think this position is clear. Let me show you the difference. In this position, after bishop g6, king f8 and king f5, this is a zugzwang. But in the previous position, the same thing happened in the previous position also. But the difference there was bishop d7, bishop g5, king f7, king f4, and here there was a move, bishop c8. So black was able to play bishop c8 and bishop d7 the whole day. So white will also play king g4 and black will play bishop d7, king f4, bishop c8. So black was having a move, bishop d7 and bishop c8. But in this position, there is no move. So yeah. So let's move to the next position. Let's yeah. What about this one? This is a new position, and here also you can see in opposite color bishop endgame, both the pawns are connected, right? And white is having two healthy pawn up. So here it's black to play. Can you find the best move? What should black play? And before finding the best move, tell me the evaluation. Black will win or lose? Okay, Vigneshwaran is saying it's a draw. Okay. And okay, Vigneshwaran is saying bishop to f8. Fine. Okay, any other moves? I got one move from Vigneshwaran, bishop f8. Yeah, this is a nice move. Yeah, Vigneshwaran is saying bishop f8, and that's a draw. Mayuki is saying it's a win for white. Okay, Manika is also saying win. Okay, can you tell me how? Let's say black is playing bishop f8. Then what do you play after bishop f8? Vigneshwaran said bishop f8. Yeah. Mayuk is saying bishop e7. Okay. Okay, Vigneshwaran is saying, yeah, there is no checks. Yes, Vigneshwaran, you are correct. So here you can see after bishop f8, let's say king goes to g5. Then what do you play? Vigneshwaran and yeah, Manika, Mayuk. Yeah, Jayesh. Yes. So Jayesh, can you tell me? Jayesh, Mayuk, Vigneshwaran, Craig. Yeah. Tell me after king g5, what should black play to draw the game? Can anyone find the best move? Okay, Perihan is saying bishop e7. Okay, I'm getting mixed answers. King g8. Okay, Vigneshwaran is saying bishop h6. Okay, good. Vigneshwaran is saying bishop h6. Uh, Pravir is saying winning for black. How can black win with a bishop? You cannot do a checkmate with a bishop. Okay, Jayesh is saying bishop h6. Fine. Okay, let's analyze the position. So Manika is saying king g8. Okay, after king g8, king g8, bishop c4, check. Okay, I'm coming to this variation later. First, I will be analyzing Vigneshwaran. If bishop h6, then the king can capture the bishop. I think after that, it's easy win for black. I mean, it's easy win for white because king g8, bishop c4 check, king h8, and it will be a checkmate. And if black moves the king to f8, it's g7, king e7, and g8. It's a queen. So bishop h6 is not working. So after king g5, if black is moving king g8, white will play bishop c4, and then black is forced to play king h8. Now let's say white is giving a waiting move, bishop a2. What do you play? Ojasvi is saying bishop e8. Okay. Mayuki is saying bishop e7. Okay. Now tell me, after bishop a2, what should black play? This position is a draw. I'm telling you, this position is a draw. And how can you draw the game? Okay, Mayuk is saying bishop e7. Pedihan is saying bishop e7. So you want to give a check. But I don't think it's working. Is it working? Okay, check. Then if I move the king here, then again bishop f8, right? Okay. Then I will play bishop b3, another waiting move. Then, yeah, tell me. Manika is saying bishop takes h6. Bishop. Okay, Jayesh is saying bishop g7. Okay, bishop g7. How can black draw the game? But bishop g7 is not a draw. White can easily take the bishop. And if the king takes, then white can play king g5, king h8, bishop c2, king g7, and eventually white will win the game. It's not a big deal. You are having one extra piece. Yes, I got the correct answer from Vigneshwaran. Yes, very good, Vigneshwaran. So in this position, black can just take the pawn. Yes, Vigneshwaran, you are correct. The king will capture, and after capture, it's a stalemate. You can see it's a stalemate, and black is having no square to move. The king cannot go to g8, g7, or h7, right? So it's a draw. Okay, Mayuki is saying bishop e8. How can you move bishop to e8? Okay, so this is the position. So how black is holding the position? So the first move is bishop to f8. Let's say white is playing bishop c4. You can just grab the pawn and it's a draw. It's not winning for white. It may seem like white is having two extra pawns and white should win. It's not the case. But white might win the game if black is playing bishop b2 and like trying to restrict white from playing pawn to g7. So I think this is winning for white. So here bishop c4 might come. After bishop c4, I think there is no move from black. So bishop b2 is not working here. Yeah, bishop b2 is not working here. So after bishop c4, let's say black can play something like bishop a1, a waiting move. And here, can anyone tell me the winning ideas from white side? Yeah, Jesh, you also told the correct move, bishop h6. Yeah, you were also correct. Yeah, can anyone tell me the winning idea from here? It's white to play and win. Who can tell me the winning idea in this position? Yeah, you can take your time. Okay, king g5. Okay, after king g, okay, Jayesh is saying, yeah, Perihan, you are correct. King g5, uh, pawn h7. Manika and Perihan is saying pawn h7, but no, pawn h7 is not a win because after moving the pawn to h7, black will eternally play bishop g7 and bishop a1. This is not win because you cannot like push the pawn. This is a draw. Pawn h7 is not working, and I am getting another move. Ojasvi is saying g7. No, Ojasvi, g7 is also not working because bishop can take the pawn, and if white is capturing, black will also capture, and this is gonna be a draw. This is gonna be a draw because insufficient material. This is draw. So in this position, after bishop a1, okay, Jayesh is saying no, Mayuk, pawn g7 is not working. Pawn g7 is not working. Bishop g7. It will be a draw. Okay. What about king g5? Yeah, king g5 is the correct move because what now white is trying to do is moving the king to f5, e6, and f7 and trying to push the pawn g7 and g8. So now white is just trying to take control of the g7 square. Okay. No, Ojaspe, it's not a draw. It's waiting for white. Previously, when the bishop was on f8, that time the king was unable to move to f5 and e6 because the h6 pawn was under attack. But right now, the bishop is on a8 and h8 diagonal. So right now, there is no reason to defend the h6 pawn. So now king g5, let's say black is playing this move. White can come this side. King f5, king e6, and king f7. And the bishop cannot move to d2 because now we can play the good move g7 and g8 queen because the bishop is defending the g8 square. Yes, yes, Pedian, that's a win. And yeah, Pratap, Mallavarpu, yeah, king g5, yes. Pratap and Jayesh, you are correct. Okay, fine. So king g5, let's say black is playing this, white can just play this, and black is having no moves to play. So white will just go on playing these moves and it will be a win for white. The pawn is getting promoted. So yeah, let's move to the next position. I think this one is clear to all of you. Yeah, what about this one? This is also white is having two extra pawns. What about this one? It's black to play. First, you have to tell me that is black can draw the game or black is losing the game. First, think and tell me. I'm giving you 1 minute. You have to think and tell me. Take your time. Okay, Ojasvi, Perihan, Pratap. Yeah, I can see many moves in the chat. Yeah, so it's black to play. Okay, so let me analyze the game. So here it's black to play and black is having few moves, right? Let's say in this position. Okay, so it's a win. Vigneshwaran is saying it's a win. Uh, okay, there is, okay, Mayuk is saying it's a higher chance of draw. Okay, but yeah, let me analyze the position. So here there might be many moves, like you can play king f7, king h7, or you might play bishop e6, bishop d1. Okay, so here in this type of positions, what you have to think is your off. Yeah, Praveer is saying bishop d1 and Periyan is saying bishop f7. Okay, yeah, bishop f7 is also a move. So the main thing in this type of positions is you should not let your opponent move your pawns like this and this. If your opponent is able to move their pawns up, then it will be a very higher chance of your opponent to defeat you, right? So in this position, let's say first I will be analyzing bishop e6 and bishop f7. Let's say Perihan is saying bishop f7. Okay, let's say bishop f7. Then white can play king to g5 and there is no, black can give no resistance. Like I think white can easily play king g5 followed by king f6 and come to this squares. Let's say black is playing king h7. White can play king g5, bishop h6. Okay, let me see. After bishop f7, king g. Okay, yeah. Okay, Pratap is saying bishop c2. Okay, yeah, I will analyze those variations. First, I need to analyze this. So king f4 is a nice move, king h7, and here after king h7, I think white can play king f5, and here black can play bishop e8, and after this, uh, bishop can move. I mean, the king can move to f6, and in the next few moves, I think black is having no move after this. So black is forced to play king h6 or king h8. The king h8 black cannot play because it will be a discover attack and white is winning the piece. And after king h6, bishop h6, bishop e3 check, king goes to h7, bishop f4. And now king, if black is playing king to h8, I think white can play king e7, I think winning the piece. Yeah. No, Ojasvi. No, this is not a stalemate, Ojasvi. So bishop f7 is not that correct because white can take his king to f6. So here what you have to do, you should try to prevent your opponent's king from going forward and taking opposition. So here bishop d1 is the correct move. The best move is bishop d1, which can hold the position. So after bishop d1, let's say, let me get the same ideas, king h4 or king f4. Let's say king f4, king g7, sorry, king h7. I can't move it to g7 because of the bishop. So king h7, king g5, and black can play bishop e2. So again, still in this position, yes, Jayesh, Ojasvi, Perihan, yeah, Perihan, it's a draw. Bishop e2, and now black will just keep the bishop on this diagonal, d1 h5 diagonal, and now white is unable to do any progress in this position. It can't move the king anywhere on f6 or to the 6th rank because then the g4 pawn will be under attack. Let's say if black is pushing the pawn to h6, it can push, right? So then we can just play bishop d3 and it will be a draw, sorry. And it will be a draw here because after h6 and g5, these are called holes. So this is light square weakness from white side. So it will be a draw. So bishop d1 is working, and yes, Praveer and Pratap, yeah, bishop d1 is the correct move. After bishop d1, the main thing in this type of position is you should not let your opponent from moving your pawn forward. Okay, I think someone said, Pratap, you said bishop c2 also. Okay, let's analyze bishop c2, but I don't think bishop c2 will work here. Uh, After bishop c2, after bishop c2, g5 might be. What about Manika is saying, what about bishop g4? No, you want to sacrifice? Oh, you want to sacrifice the bishop, Manika? Why? After sacrifice, you won't be winning. Bishop c2, after bishop c2, I think king g5, king h7. White can play g5 might be, or king f4. And if you after bishop c2, king f4, if you again play bishop d1, then it will be again a draw. Your idea should be to keep the bishop on this diagonal. Or if you try to put the bishop on c2, then white can easily play king g5, king f6, and push the pawn up. Okay, Ojas, you didn't say that. Yeah, it might be my mistake. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm moving to the next topic. Yeah. So this is a new topic. So here, uh, previously we were doing topics on connected pass pawn, right? So now we will be doing with separated pawns. Okay. So here in this position, it is white to play. Okay, it's white to play, and I think this is the easiest position you will ever get in your game. So can anyone tell me the winning idea from white side? Yeah, from white side, can anyone tell me the winning idea? It's very easy. Yes, Ojasvi, Pratap, Jayesh, yeah, try this one. Okay, so I'm getting answers. Yeah, king e6. So Vigneshwaran is saying king e6. Okay, Shlok is saying king e6. Okay, so after king, sorry, yeah, after king e6, you were attacking the bishop. Fine, that's a nice idea. But here, if I play bishop g5, then what you will be playing? Yeah, Ojasvi, Craig. Yeah, I am getting many answers. Yeah, everyone is saying king e6. Fine, that's a nice idea. Bishop g5, then Pratap, Craig, Shlok. Yeah, after bishop g5, what do you play? F6 or any other move? Attack e6. Okay. Yeah, Vignesh Parn is saying king e6. Yeah, after this, what should white play? After bishop g5? Okay, bishop e8. Fine. Yeah, you can win with bishop e8 also. Yeah, very nice. So in the next few moves, you can play f6, f7, and I think f8 queen, right? Yeah, this is a nice idea. But I think putting the bishop from f3 is a better one, because after putting the bishop on f3, you can play king f7, king g7, then you can play f7, I mean f6, f7, and f8. Yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, many moves. You can win with many ways. Yeah, after bishop f3 or bishop e8, let's say king going here, you can play this, and yeah, this will be winning, clearly winning. And in the next move, it's a queen. Yes, very nice. Okay, this one is easy, I know. Okay, and what about this one? Yeah. So now I will be telling you few things regarding the separated pawns. So here you have to be keep this in mind that you have to keep the king towards the king of your opponent. Okay. In the previous game, what we saw that the bishop was there to prevent the pawn from getting promoted, right? So the bishop after king e6, the bishop was fighting with the king to prevent the pawn from getting promoted. Okay, but when you have separated pass pawn, on that time what you have to do, you have to fight your king with your opponent's king like this way. So the bishop will be defending up the pass pawn, and your king will be playing with your opponent's king like this way. You should try to keep your king close to your opponent's king. Okay. So in this position, this is a draw because here in this is also a similar position where white is having two extra pawns, but white is unable to win this because let's say king to d5, king to f6, you have to follow your opponent's king. Okay, yeah, Vigneshwaran. Ojasvi, can you tell me the how can white win this game? Yeah, actually, opposite color bishop endgame are very tricky. So you can have more pawns, you can have like many pawns, but still, it's very difficult for you to win. So the if white is playing king d5, black can play king f6. Let's say white play king c5, black will play king e7, and if white is planning this way, king b5, black will just play king c8. I mean king d8, and this will be a draw. The strategy should be black will just follow the white king. In whichever side white is traveling with the king, black will just follow the king. This is the rule when we have the separated pass pawn. Okay. So here what's happening after king g5, black is just blocking the f4 square because the bishop is on c7. So it's very clear that it will be a draw. Perihan is saying, can white promote the pawn? No. If you follow the correct rule and correct technique, you can hold this type of positions, but you have to think precisely. Okay, Ojas, we know it's not a win for white. And Pravir is saying f4. No, Pravir, you can't play f4 because the bishop is there to capture the pawn, right? So this will be a draw. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's do something interesting. It's been a long time we're solving this type of questions. Okay, let's solve this one. It's black to play. Yeah, this one is black to play. And first tell me, it's winning or it's a draw or losing. It's black to play. And yeah, tell me. It's black to play and you have to find first, tell me the evaluation. It's winning for black or it's a draw? Okay, so Perian is saying it's a draw. Okay, Perian is saying draw, fine. Yeah, you can take your time, everyone. Okay, so Pravir is saying d4. Okay, so here you have to see my third point here. Positional nuisances are worth more than a material. So whenever you are playing an opposite color bishop endgame, in that time you should not calculate the total number of pawns you are having, the more material you are having. You should not focus on these things. You should always try to focus on your active piece play. So if you get your if you can make your bishop active, or if you get an open file, or your bishop is not getting open file, sorry, bishop will be getting open diagonal. So yeah, so if you get an open diagonal for your bishop, that will be a great thing. So in this type of bishop endgames, So opposite color bishop endgames are very tricky. So here you can see that, yeah, the position might look draw. Okay, Jayesh is saying pawn d4, Pratap is saying draw, Shlok is also saying draw. Okay, Vignesh is saying black is winning. Okay, so Vignesh, tell me the move order. How is black winning? Okay, Craig is winning. Okay, so let me tell you, this is not a draw. This is not a draw. Black is winning. Find the winning move. No, this is not a draw. Yeah, I will give you 1 minute to find out the best move. Then I will analyze the position. So here, I'm giving you some hints. So here you can see white is attacking the pawn on b3, right? Yeah, pawn d4 is a very obvious move. Pawn d4 is a very obvious move. So after moving the pawn to d4, yeah, bishop can capture the d4 pawn, and yeah, you are defending the pawn on b3, but I think that's not worth it. You are not winning. The king is always on c3 to defend the pawn from going to b2 and get promoted. So pawn d4 is not working. Shlok is saying pawn d4, but that's still not working. No, bishop d4. After bishop d4, that's a draw. Vigneshwaran, it's black to play and you want to play king g4. Okay. White will play bishop to e7 and you can't take the pawn on h4. I am not capturing the pawn on b3, Vigneshwaran. I will just defend the pawn on h5. So here there is a technique. Always try to create as many pass pawn as possible. Okay, Praveer came with another idea, pawn to b2. Okay, the king can capture the pawn to b2. This is also, I think this is not a winning from black side. Okay, so let me show you the interesting variation. So here, pawn is coming to g5. So to win this position, first, black needs to create a pass pawn. Black is having one on b3. Now black wants to create another pass pawn from the h5. Okay, so after g5, what's black is trying to do? Let's say here after g5, white is having two moves. Vigneshwaran said g5. Okay, Ojasvi is saying bishop to e8. But Ojasvi, tell me, how can you move the bishop to e8? E8 is this square. How can you move that? I mean, you meant to say bishop to c8, I think. You can't move to e8. Okay, so the first move is bishop to pawn to g5. Okay, so here the main thing is you have to create a pass pawn. White is having two pawns, the f pawn and the h pawn to recapture on the pawn on g5. Let's come with this one. The the f pawn taking the g pawn. Then what we are going to play? Just play pawn d4. Now, Praveer, we are playing your move. Pawn d4, we are defending the pawn on b3. Let's say white is capturing. We play king g3, bishop a3, king takes h4, and this is called outside pass pawn. Now white is having two pass pawn. One is on h5, another one is on b3. So this is clearly winning for black. Okay, your idea should be whenever you are playing opposite color bishop endgame, that time your main focus should be that you need to create more pass pawn. Okay, the more you create pass pawn, the higher your winning chances are. So now analyzing the last move. The pawn on h4 is capturing on g5. Now what do you think? What should black play? Can anyone tell me? Okay, g5 then king g4. Craig, yes, Craig, you are correct. Pawn g5 then king g4. That's the best move. But tell me, after pawn is capturing on g5, what do you think? What should black play? King g4, okay. King g4. Okay, Praveer is saying h4, fine. And Vigneshwaran is saying h4, okay. So here after taking with the h pawn, I think you don't need to play king g4. I think h4 is working fine. After h4, let's say white is taking the pawn. You can just push the pawn to, yes, Vigneshwaran. Yeah, Praveer Vigneshwaran. Okay, Perihan is also saying h4. Yeah, very nice. So h3 and I think h2 and h1 is coming in just two more. Black is getting a queen, and that's clearly winning. Okay. So here, this is also, I won't say this is that much difficult position, because if you get to know the right technique and right strategy, how to play the opposite color endgames, then this type of position becomes very easy for you people to make the moves and to think like from where you should try to create the play. So here previously when I didn't say the techniques, that time you all were telling me that think like moving the pawn to d4, defending the pawn on b3. But right now I think it's very clear what we should do in this type of positions, like playing pawn g5, creating a pass pawn on h5, and then it's very easy for us to win the game. Yes, Craig, Perihan. Okay, so what we learned in today's session. So first we learned how to play with connected pass pawn in opposite color bishop endgame. And then we did some topics on separated pass pawn, how we should try to defend separate like separated pass pawn endgames with opposite color bishop, and how we can try to win and push our opponent. So this is another example where in opposite color endgames you can squeeze out win. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. And yeah, we will meet again. And I will request everyone to like, share, and subscribe Premier Chess Academy. So I think everyone enjoyed. Yeah, and I'm very happy to say, see that so many responses in the chat. Yeah, I will be back again here with you. Yeah, okay. So I request everyone to like, share, and subscribe. So have a nice day. Bye, everyone. See you soon.